more bad news for the Democratic Party. Take a look.
Congressional Democrats have been trying to seize on this. You hear them also parroting what you're hearing online, saying, release the files, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. I mean, is that working for them?
No, I mean, look, here's what's so important. You know, we talk about the potential of Republicans leaving Donald Trump. They're not leaving him. But what about congressional Democrats and problems with their own base? Democrats' net approval of congressional Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University, in June of 2025, it was their second worst ever at minus 12 points. It's not low enough for you? How about we go even lower? In July of 2025, minus 13 points, their worst net approval rating for congressional Democrats among Democrats ever. Donald Trump is not the one who has problems with this political base. It is congressional Democrats are the ones who have problems with their own political base.
And then, by the way, they go on to point out Donald Trump, well, his numbers went up from last month. Now, the left's latest smear is not working. At the same time, Democrats now have their worst approval rating in history. Look at this. It's even worse in a brand new Quinnipiac poll where congressional Democrats now have a record low 19% approval rating. But Democrats, if you are watching tonight, let not your heart be troubled, because your party's so-called leaders, they have come up with a plan, a new plan. Since they can't beat Donald Trump, they're going to try and channel Donald Trump. According to a report, Washington Post, Democrats are now coordinating their public remarks to we'll pretend they're less scripted, with more cursing and, quote, Trumpier insults. I wonder if this came from the extensive amount of millions of dollars they spent on research on how to communicate properly with men. Hey, Joe, did you see the big game last night? Joe, want to go grab a brewski? Man, oh, I really like that girl. What do you think of her? Really? You have to, it's so inauthentic, lacking all authenticity. Anyway, Democrats are fake, phony. They're now scripting a plan to seem less scripted. Figure that out. Naturally, presidential wannabe Gavin Newsom, he's already testing the waters. He got the message early. Take a look.
It's a weakness masquerading as strength. That's what I don't like about this son of a I don't. And forgive me, I know he's the president of the United States. Forgive me, I didn't,
Yeah, forgive me, I came right out of the research. Now, the one thing they all know is they can't be themselves. Why? Because they're so out of touch with all of you, and they lack authenticity. So Trumpian insults is not the Democrats' biggest problem. Instead, it's the very authentic, very radical Marxist base that now is the bigger part of that party. That is the power structure of the Democratic Party. And Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they're not going to dare take on Jasmine Crockett or AOC or the Squad or Mamdani and, turning off scores of insane American voters. Why would they do that? In fact, most Americans now detest communism for good reason. It is responsible for the death of millions and suffering of billions and more poverty than you can imagine. When Democrats nominate an actual communist Marxist to be the next mayor of America's biggest cities, voters across the entire country take note. And tonight, a newly unearthed video shows Marxist Mamdani advocating for the government to ban private property. Karl Marx would be proud. Take a look.
Would life be better if we just abolished private property and transformed our society into a more collective, egalitarian one?
I think it probably would be better. I mean, I think that, look, that's not what my platform is, that I'm saying to abolish it, but my platform is to decommodify it. My platform is that every single person should have housing. If there was any system that could guarantee each person housing, whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now.
All right, this is now the third or fourth video where Mamdani is pushing for actual Soviet-style hammer and sickle Marxism, communism. So take note, comrades out there, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Make no mistake, Mamdani's extremism, it knows no bounds. In fact, in the very same interview, Mamdani even questioned the purpose of prisons. What? Take a look.
Are prisons obsolete?
Whew, coming through with the quotes, coming through with the titles of the books. I have to read that, actually. I haven't read that as yet. But I think that, frankly, I mean, what purpose do they serve? Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, I think a lot of people who defend the carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel. They're not defending the reality of it and the practices that are part and parcel of it.
Now, what purpose could they actually serve? Maybe keeping violent offenders, murderers, rapists, other violent criminals away from peace-loving Americans so they have law and order and safety and security for themselves, their children. Just a thought. And now couple Mamdani's prison ban with his call to defund the police and send in the social workers to violent crime scenes. Sir, are you threatening to kill all these people? Is it because of something that might have happened in your childhood? I don't think that's going to work. And, of course, he wants to seize private property, control New York's food supply, raise taxes, especially on people living in whiter neighborhoods, and somehow abolish billionaires. And let's not forget his rabid anti-Semitism. He cannot even simply reject the calls for global intifada. Mamdani is scary for not only New York, but for the country. But it is also the state of the modern extreme, radicalized Democratic Socialist Party. And, nowhere do the lights shine any brighter than the media capital of the world. But instead of speaking out against this kind of extremism, no. Democrats are either cowering in fear or they're lavishing praise on their new favorite Marxist communists. Take a look.
I will endorse him. Look, he's a very charismatic, relatable person.
I think he's a very personable, smart young man.
He's not a socialist. He's an advocate for small c capitalism.
He is so smart, so authentic. Anybody that's staying out at this point instead of endorsing this incredible dynamic leader is missing an opportunity.
Here's a crazy thought. You think it's impossible? Think Mamdani might run for president in 28? No. Don't rule it out. It gets even more nauseating. Apparently, Maryland Senator, remember Chris Von Hollen? He was the biggest fan of Abrego Garcia. He has a thing for bad people. Anyway, first he was pictured with a margarita staring deeply into the eyes of an accused human trafficker, gang member, illegal immigrant, and now here he is with that same loving gaze peering into the eyes of a radical Marxist who wants to seize your house, tax you to death, and put you in a beautiful commune. But this is the state of the modern Democratic Party. They want to totally dismantle the United States of America as we know it. They think capitalism is evil. They do not believe in meritocracy. They don't believe in hard work, and they want to rule our country with an iron fist and a sickle and a hammer with woke social workers, not police. And for anyone who seems to think it might be a good idea, I do encourage you to speak with someone who maybe immigrated from Castro's Cuba or the former Soviet Union or North Korea or any other communist hellhole where things are so miserable that people will get on broken down, dilapidated, rickety boats in shark-infested waters and try and navigate to their way to freedom to escape life under communism. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.